Hey everyone, so as you all know, 2020 has been a very unique year for all of us so far. I thought that I'd ask a couple of my friends from completely different areas of my life how they're doing, and maybe have them share a couple experiences that they've had so far this year. Without further ado, here they are.
Hi, my name's Hunter. I'm 27 years old. I live in Colorado, in the United States. I'm a computer programmer for work, and for fun, I mostly play computer video games.
Hi everyone, my name is Eugene. I just completed my master's in aerospace engineering at the University of Toronto, and I am looking for a job.
My name is Michelle Norman, and I'm 34 years old, originally from Calgary. I am a claims adjuster, so outside of teaching with the Calgary Stampede Show Band, I do larger loss claims. I work with residential insurance. In terms of hobbies, I teach, so I am a color guard instructor with the show band. I love to paint, go hiking. I am a very social person, so I really love to just hang out with friends and get to kind of host little events and do little things here and there.
So the first question I asked everyone was how COVID-19 has affected their lives in a negative way, as obviously everyone by default would have a negative connotation towards this pandemic.
What's one negative consequence of this whole COVID situation? How has that affected you personally?
I think the biggest negative consequence would have to be how it kind of just threw a wrench into my entire career plan. I had an internship lined up for the summertime right before my graduation down in California, a place I always wanted to go and live for a bit. And because of COVID-19, that got scrapped.
I feel like there's been a loss of energy because I'm staying in so much. I normally stay inside a lot, but with COVID, it's risky to do things that I would normally do just to get outside, and just it's harder to socialize and meet people.
Just kind of touching base on the idea that I'm a really social person, that I did come from teaching a large group of people, getting to see friends or even go to work. Work is a really big thing. I loved the office environment, so getting to just be around people, to kind of going into that self-isolation and not really being able to cope with that so well to start off with. I felt, alone, even though there was lots of friends who were feeling the same. Everyone is in the same position, but I feel like that just really kind of spiked my anxiety a lot.
My graduation got delayed by a bit, and now that I'm graduating, I'm now in a job market that is a lot harder to find a job and very uncertain. So it feels like all this preparation that I've been doing for the last year and a half or so kind of just blew up in my face, and everything's so uncertain.
I'm sure many people are in the same situation, everyone who graduated this year.
Yeah, definitely. I also know a lot of my peers as well too.
You can hang out with people but it's really hard to meet new people, and I moved here recently, so it's been a struggle for me.
Oh yeah, that's true, because you've only been there for less than a year now?
A little bit over a year.
There was a lot of the unknowns. How long is this going to go on for? How does this really impact in terms of my personal relationships? And there wasn't a lot of coping mechanisms out there yet, because there was so many unknowns within the world that everyone was struggling to just kind of figure it out at that time. So I admittedly didn't actually handle it well. Working from home was a really big change for me, so it took a long time to adjust.
It's been quite the adjustment, and now that it's been over half a year.
Absolutely, it's crazy.
This new normal is coming into effect a little bit.
After that, I asked everyone what one positive thing that had resulted from COVID-19 was. Being in the middle of a global pandemic right now, it's important to see the good sides and not only focus on the bad.
One positive thing, I feel like I've had a lot more time to think about what's important to me and make plans for the future, more so than I would if I was just out and doing things. I feel like I've made better friendships with friends online, and I feel like really fortunate that I do have online friends. I feel like people like me are very well equipped to deal with COVID because we stay home a lot anyways.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that one.
Well, kind of speaking back to the negative impact, so anxiety is something that I've dealt with I think pretty much my whole life, but COVID really highlighted what that was like. But it actually really pushed me to go in and actually seek some help for that. And that's something that has been life changing.
At first, I was really reluctant to do this, but going back home, when I used to live in Toronto for my master's, and I lived with a roommate, I lived independently. It felt like I was growing up doing adult things, living on my own. And then my mom basically was like, "You better come home now." And I was very reluctant at first. I didn't really want to. I thought maybe it was a bit of an overreaction.
It has also made relationships stronger. So you are getting on the phone more, or you're trying to find ways that you can still connect with people and making sure that others are okay, or even just like the self-care for other people. Doing something as simple as putting on a mask when you go outside and making sure that you are protecting yourself and others, mostly really others.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
Yeah, I just think that in terms of our new culture, there's been a lot more kindness, a lot more helping other people. There's been a lot more outreach, which we hadn't seen before. That's something that I hope to continue to go on for a long time.
I realized how much I hadn't seen my family, didn't get to hang out with my sister very often, or see my mom or my dad. So that kind of like helped me. I don't know what the word is, like
reconnect some family bonds.
Reconnect with your family. Realize that family has now become like a higher priority in my life as opposed to, say, career or my studies.
Finally, to end things off on a bright note, I asked everyone to give some advice to you guys who are watching right now.
What's one piece of advice that you would give to someone who might be struggling through this situation currently?
If I could say anything, would be to be patient with yourself. So if you're not somebody who can deal well with change or self-isolation, or just finding different ways to live your life, don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help, and know that that's okay. So know that you're not the only one that might be struggling, or you're not the only one that is feeling maybe a little bit alone in this current world that we're living in.
Well, for one, if you're not going outside right now, try and go outside and at least just take a walk. Like, sunlight goes a long way, and just getting a little bit of physical activity helps.
My one advice would be to remember to stay active, because I think that just having exercise either daily or once every other day really helps to keep your schedule in place and keep your mind like fresh. I'm sure lots of people are struggling with it. I struggle with keeping myself focused as well, but when I do exercise, it helps a lot.
Yeah, I know that's something I'm definitely not doing great at, but
I'd also say consider getting a pet. I know that having my pet cat has helped a lot. Just having something physically there that's alive and that you care for helps distract, and so I recommend getting a pet of some kind.
It's a strength in order to reach out and just to say that you do need help, and to know that there are people out there that are willing to be there for you and that are willing to offer that help and that support. That's what I did, and that has kind of completely changed my life. So if I could offer one piece of advice, it would be not to be afraid to do that.
Remembering to enjoy the leisurely parts of your life.
Well, there you have it, a small glimpse into the life of some of my fellow North Americans. And you might be wondering why I said North Americans specifically. Well, I'm actually in the process of creating a second video where I would showcase people from various countries all around the world and see how they're handling the situation and how they're doing themselves. So stay tuned for that one. I'll link it in the description below once it's completed, and I'll also probably put in this corner a direct link. Lastly, let me know in the comments how your experiences have been so far, both the good and bad. All right, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Bye guys. I would lift Twiggle's paw, but he's not having it.
Do I have to do that too?